Okay. Now let's see if I end up going live. My streaming software is connected. Okay. Well, it is what it is. I'm so bad at this. Okay, I already showed off my pocket shawl once, but I'll show it again. There it is. This is the old boiler Robo version. Hers goes up and down, and the one that I did goes sideways. And even though it's a pocket shawl and you're supposed to wear it like this and put your hands in the pockets, I still like wearing it like a wrap or a scarf. And I want to put my new kitten in the pocket. So, where'd it go? How's everybody doing? How are we doing with Hat-Tober? People making hats? Yesterday I started Maiya's roommate's hat on the live and did a little mini tutorial for it. It's boring to sit here and watch me do 26 rows of double crochet, so I didn't do them all here. I ended the live, and then I went back to my couch and I worked all but the last 2 rows, and now I'm going to show you how to finish up the hat. No. Okay, here we go. So I'm really behind for Hat-Tober because some of us make a hat, one hat every month, or one hat every day for a whole month. And I've never been able to keep up. But I want to. Okay, if you're here, say hi. So I know I'm actually broadcasting because I'm not getting any comments. Okay. All right, so this is Maiya's roommate's hat. You work basically the same 2 rows for 26 rows. I did 24, so I just have 2 more to go. And if you want to change the size, if you want to up or down size the hat, you can see it's starting to turn into a hat, right? Hat shape. If you want to upsize or downsize the hat, you can always add more rows to this. This finished measurement here across the bottom, I think the pattern says about 21 to 22 inches, makes like a lady's medium or adult small medium hat. If you want to make one for a man or somebody with a bigger head, you can always add rows to this, but you want to add your rows in even numbers because you want to finish down here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the edge on, and then we're going to seam it up, and that way all our ends end up, all the yarn ends of the project end up here where the pom-pom goes. Okay, so just remember that if you change sizes, if you go bigger or smaller, you will want to do it in even numbers. So these are just the last 2 rows of my double crochet on my Maiya's roommate's hat. Double crochet worked in the back loop. I always do the first and the last stitches of the row when I'm working in back loop only or front loop only. I always do the end stitches through both loops. This yarn's working up really nice and fluffy. I really like the way it works up. Let me come back down in a little bit. There we go. And who's here tonight? It's late again. It's almost 9 o'clock here in New York. This is a good time for Australians to join the live. So some people were saying last night that they mark the 7th stitch. I blew right past it on my first round. Some people mark that, but you can just check to see that, oh, hey, that's a double crochet in the row below. So I'm going to start my double crochet. There's 3 of them, 3 singles. And a slip stitch. And then, oh man, I split the yarn, something terrible. No! Let me try and catch some of the splits. What was that? Was supposed to be a slip stitch. Okay, and then a chain 1 and turn and slip stitch. There we go. 3 single crochet. This is my last row on here. I'm going to go across the bottom. 3 half double. And then double crochet all the way down through the back loop till we get to the very last stitch of the row. We're going to double crochet under both loops. I have 6 very quiet people watching. Say hello. One hat a day. Hi, Missouri. For a second there, I was thinking that my stream wasn't working because no one was commenting. last stitch of the row. Okay, so we have now I made 26 rows, and now the way this hat works is we turn it and we're going to make a little edge across the bottom. And I do this the same way I edge my 6-day kit blanket. I start with I do a row of single crochet, and I work into the turning chains and into the double crochet as if they are a turning chain, and I leave 2 strands. I work under 2 strands and I leave 1 strand on the bottom. And I do approximately 2 single crochets in each stitch. But this technique is more art than science. It's definitely not an exact formula. Like in knitting, you would do, 2 stitches in every 3 rows across. But just, keep looking at it and pay attention to it and make sure it's not ruffling or that you're not adding too many. But I roughly do 2 single crochets in each double crochet across. And I just do this 1 row. I know some people have done a little bit more of a brim on their Maiya's Roommates hats by adding more brim rows, but I just do this 1 row. My new kitten got all his shots yesterday, so he was really tired all day today. He was very sleepy, just kind of laying around, lethargic, very cuddly. He's a very sweet little guy. Hi, Lorraine. How have you been, Lorraine? Are you making hats for Hat-Tober? Is everybody waiting for their pocket shawl? Like waiting with bated breath, hooks and yarn at the ready. This version that I'm wearing took 3 mandalas. Actually, it only took 2.5. I had about half of one left. I thought I was maybe gonna be able to make it work with 2, but I really needed 3. The edging is really nice and wide, and as I was working it, I was like, this is too wide, but I actually think it looks great. This is the lightest weight one that I did. I did 2 with the mandala roving says it's a number 3 weight, but it really, to me, felt more like a worsted weight. And those were heavy. Those 2 were heavy, the sideways pockets. And then I made a really thick one in bulky yarn. And it looks nice, but it's much more difficult to wear. This light one with the number 3 mandala is the easiest of all of them to wear. Okay, so this row of single crochet is going to be the right side of your hat. The right side of the single crochet row is going to be the right side of your hat, your pocket shawl, it should say. Hi, Jackie. Okay, here's what I do. I stick my needle in here. I'm going to seam it up, and I pull, I pull a loop through the very first stitch, bottom of the row, and I chain one, and then I slip stitch this together. I go under one stitch from each side, and one thread from each side, and I slip stitch it together loosely. I almost feel like I should go up a hook to do it. You don't want it to be tight. And if you don't want to have a seam of if you don't want to have this seam here, you can just seam it with a needle. Baby star is in Mandala Dragon. Sometimes if I know that they're gonna flip the hat up, I'll turn it inside out halfway and keep going on the other side, seaming on the other side. But not usually. I don't usually do that. I just do it the lazy way. I just keep going with the seam all on one side. What did I do there? Come on over to this side, loop. That one's next. Guess I'm going under 2 threads of the chain. Lorraine, I'm not sure what you mean, baby stars in Mandala Dragon. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Baby star? Somebody made a star blanket? Baby blanket? Oh, you're making a baby blanket. I really like the colors. I like dragons. I bought the yarn for the name. But I love greens and blue and warm colors. Oranges, and somebody did my colors one time and I was a fall, but I like when they put like turquoise or teal in with the fall oranges, and oh, I love orange and blue together. Those are Mudkip colors. Put that marker somewhere I won't lose it. I'll be looking for one next time I'm on a live. I'll do one more. Okay. Now you can see the beauty of the decreasing for this hat because scissors? Here, good night, Abby. Because we did those little decreases at the end of the row, we only have this little tiny hole to gather up. And I don't know, I just don't like it when I see a big bunch of like yarn or whatever gathered up like that. Um, you see a lot of these double crochet in the back loop hats, and they're just like basically like a flat square. They don't have any tapering at all. And then you seam up the side, and then you have all this that you would have to gather in, and it bunches. So you can tell, um, now that you know, when you look at crocheted hats, if they've been shaped or not. I mean, I don't know if this is really an intermediate pattern, but that's what I mean when I say it advances your skills, a little bit, because it's not just like a square, a rectangle sewn up. It has real shaping. Okay, so to sew it up, I go through all of these little slip stitches on the end of the row. Oh, you're not going to be difficult, are you? There's the next one. Oh, what a beautiful name. Baby's name is Lachlan, which has Scottish, Irish, and Viking origins. Colors of Dragon goes with the landscape, rolling hills, and lakes in my mind. Yeah, I was wondering about the blues. I love them, but as I was working on the project, I just was like, why is it so much blue and green in this dragon? But that makes sense. There's no like red or fire, I thought red or black. I'm going to go through there. Just maybe not. I'm going to go under this one underneath it. Okay. And there you go. You pull it. And honestly, I probably would go around again a second time because this yarn is, like a roving. So I feel like it could easily come undone. So I would probably go around these one more time. Dragon scales. And just like for the same reason that I don't use a magic ring to start a blanket, because then you only have one thread that's holding your whole blanket together. Now a hat, if this if this thread breaks and this hat comes undone, the whole hat is not going to fall apart. So it'll be good. But I have both of my ends here, and when I'm ready to put my pom pom, I'm not going to put a pom pom on tonight, but I am going to put a pom pom on here. All my ends are up here at the top of the hat. Here, I'll switch this. All the ends are up here at the top, and I can use them to tie. Usually tie them to the pom pom, or I'll weave them in a couple more times, but I don't usually weave them in. Usually just tie them, tie them around, and then use them to secure the pom pom. And tie it. I'll tie it in a bow so that you can take the pom pom off, because I use those faux fur pom poms a lot, and that way, when the recipient or wearer or whoever is ready to wash the hat, they can take the pom-pom off and it'll be removable. There you go. Maiya's roommate's hat. This, well, I have a very small head. This barely fits on me, so I would say like a large child large hat. Thank you. That's all I'm going to do tonight. So I'm averaging one hat every 2 days, but tomorrow's Saturday and I don't have a lot going on. Maybe I'll catch up. I would have to make, how many hats would I have to make to catch up? I only have one. And if I'm doing 2 a day from the 15th to the end of the month, let me do the math. I should have done 2 yesterday and 2 today and only did 1, so that's 3. And then 2 tomorrow. I'd have to make 5 hats tomorrow to catch up. I don't think even I can do that, but maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll do a couple like little baby ones and cheat. Little teeny tiny little hats, like the little teeny tiny Maiya's roommate's hat that that Cat made on a sock monkey Christmas tree ornament last year. I'll have to get that out and show it all to you guys. I know 5 hats in a day. I think that's even too much for me. But okay, it was nice hanging out here with you guys for Hat-Tober tonight for just a little while. And if you're making hats, post them in the event and let us know what you did and where they're going, where they're gonna end up. If you're gonna give it away, sell it, wear it. Some for preemies. Yeah, maybe I'll do some preemie ones tomorrow and catch up. So, but I'll definitely come on live at some point and I'll make something on the live and maybe the swirly. Thank you, Jackie. Maybe the swirly. I might do the swirly next, and that way, if anyone wants to know how to do a swirly, they can watch me do it, and it'll be like a mini tutorial. Okay. Good night, everyone. Happy Hat-Tober.